I learned to ride a bicycle when I was younger, and the skills stay with you. I'm not going to talk about bicycle this morning, swimming. If you learn to swim, the skill stays with you. Welcome back to Sunrise. Coach Limon Lowe, one of Jamaica's national swim coaches, see where I'm going? Head coach of Swimmers Aquatic Swim Club and founder of Lowe's Consultancy Services, joined us now to discuss a movement he's starting to help more Jamaicans recognize the importance of water safety and preparedness, a life-saving initiative designed to equip Jamaicans with the critical skills needed to prevent drowning and respond safely in water emergency. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Morning, Coach.
Morning time.
Good to have you. Let us talk about the fact that we still, at a very high rate, we're not a swimming nation. We're not a country of people who swim, but we're a country of people who go river, we go beach, we go to these water bodies, but we're not swimmers, so to speak. How do we shift the mindset around learning the skill of swimming, the life-saving skill of swimming?
Yeah, so first of all, I want to talk about why this all started.
Yeah.
And I don't know if many of us remember the incident that took place with the hurricane, I believe, Dorian in Bahamas, 2019. And just a quick number, there were 75 who lost their lives then and 282 that was unaccounted for. And so Bahamas at that time took an initiative that every child that's born, mandatory that they must learn to swim. Right now, on a national level, they are pretty much one of the best islands in terms of the region, in terms of competitive swimming because of that initiative. But it was more of a safety drive.
Right.
And it's the same thing now that I'm imploring most of our Jamaican parents to have that same type of concept, and the government too, because the reality is we don't want to wait until another Melissa again for persons to be drowning and losing their lives through that means, you know? So that's one of the things that I wanted to highlight, where this all came from. Yeah.
Listen, when the rain started, and of course we know the heavy rains that comes with a hurricane.
Flooded waters.
I almost did an inventory in my house. I said, who knows can swim and who can't swim? Because it's really a critical issue if the house is flooded and we literally swim to save lives. So it is such an important initiative, you know. But you mentioned the idea came after what happened with Hurricane Dorian. Hurricane Melissa has made it even so much more urgent, you know. But what was going through your mind at the time, you know, when the light bulb went off?
Yeah, it never came directly to Kingston. It was more on the west and the St. Anne's and Black River and so on. But then I started to think about what if there's a lot of water, which we know that came with it, flooded waters. And we saw pictures on the social media platforms that had homes. You were seeing the water so high that it was actually at the rooftop.
I saw that too.
So in many cases like those, you think about, I'm thinking, all right, going on the rooftop may not be even helpful. No, you actually need to know how to save yourself, and if you have others in the house, save others by swimming, getting to safety that way. So that was one of the things and concerns that I had initially as I thought about what was happening in these flooded areas. So yeah.
I watched a story and I heard the guy said, you know, when I went there, I have to box him and grip him so. And I said, why you box him? You have to box him, guy.
I'm drown him too.
You know?
But let us talk about those skills, because obviously I know that you coach at the National Stadium. That is a swing facility, but we don't necessarily have swing facilities in every parish, available in every school. What is your plan in your mind to say, okay, how can we make this a national venture, and how do you foresee this happening? Yeah,
so it's two phases to the concept that I'm bringing. One initially is the initial investment in parents investing in the kids, starting from there, or adults themselves learning the sport or learning safety of the sport. But then the next initiative is to actually create a foundation, which right through Melissa was thinking about ideas of how to do that, where we'll get sponsorships and stuff to be able to drive this across the island. Because again, this is something, when I think about Bahamas, our neighbors, that's what they did to drive, safety, water literacy, that every household will learn how to actually not just swim, but swim well, so they can save themselves. Because you know the saying, yeah man, you can swim, I can help myself, or I can do a thing. But really and truly, if you're not able to do that thing well, or effectively, or efficiently, then it's not so much doing it, because you saw the waters that Melissa brought.
But let me ask you this. You're not necessarily speaking only about learning swim strokes and being able to swim competitively. You're literally talking about life-saving skills in water. So learning to float, learning to tread, learning to, it's the very basics. When you think about that, how long do you think a child would need to interact with a swim coach to be able to develop those skills sufficiently?
Well, I want to say it depends on the coach, because the coach would have the necessary skills, not just in teaching, but in communicating. And making sure that that kid connects with what you're saying. My personal experience, some kids, even in the summer here, the 3-4 sessions, they got it. They were floating, they were moving from one place to the next. And it's all about getting them comfortable in the water, because we know that the fear is real. Most persons, even parents, they're not sending their kids to swim because they themselves have this phobia, they themselves have this fear. So it has to do with the coaching, it has to do with how comfortable you communicate the information, and then in a short space, you'll have them being excited about the water and wanting to learn to swim.
But you know what is also true is that a good swimmer in flood waters can be challenged. So therefore, there's a proper technique or rescue training. Explain to us the importance of that. Yeah,
so I've learned to do all of these because I'm also a certified lifeguard. And you mentioned you have to box him. It's a real thing, because you have what is called the death grip. And if a child, as small as that child is, hold you the wrong place, and you're not trained enough to know what to do to react to that, then it can be very serious. So life-saving skills, as you guys talk about how to float, how to be able to move yourself in that water effectively, is some of the things that we look at when it comes to these life-saving skills.
You know, one of the most interesting things that I hear when it comes to water is no matter what the circumstance is, no matter what the conditions are, you have to stay calm. But it's typically so difficult for people not to panic when they're in water and they feel as though this is not going to end very well for me. How does one mentally decide, okay, I need to stay calm, I can get out of this? What do we do mentally? Obviously, it's until we come to you for little lessons.
It's easier said than done. And the reality is, in a case like even Melissa bringing it back, if you find that water is coming in quickly into the home and filling up the home, and you're finding that the doors are getting locked and all of these things, you're going to panic. But what is encouraged is that you have your safety devices. I spoke about it on a video that I did on Instagram, where you ensure that you have like your floating devices, your life vests. More so the life vest, because with the other floating devices like a board, a pull buoy, bottles filled with water in a bag to hold, debris can box that away from you. So when you have on the life vest, you feel in your mind 99.9% more safe, because you know you can keep your head above water. And really and truly in a case like that, that's all you need to get to somewhere safe. Keeping air in, you can talk, you can scream, you can say, hey, help me over here, and that will keep you afloat.
For those who live in flood-prone areas, should have
ensure that you have those helpful equipments that in cases like these, because most people prepare for the flood. They prepare for to button down and prepare for food. But now how many of us prepare that
I never even
the
ever
water
thought about
get to us, then we have a life vest in our homes as a part of our safety equipment.
You have fire extinguisher in your house, you know, but you don't have life vests.
No, it's a real thing, man. So I'm encouraging persons out there that in cases like these, you have one of those.
Want to live in a flood-prone area, for sure.
I wonder how can like families and companies and schools get started with a learn to swim program or a rescue training.
Yeah, so it's an initiative that I am trying to build here also, which through Swimmers Aquatic Swim Club, where we're getting to the schools a lot more. Again, we're working out the isms, schisms to get it done. But ideally, we want all schools, because I do one now in St. Mary. That's a Happy Hours school where I go down there each Tuesday, and a coach and myself will work on getting those kids. So the idea is to get all parishes involved in this initiative, so we can have everybody learn to swim. I'm playing my part. I'm doing my part. But idea is that we want to start a foundation where we can actually go and have a drive right through and through the whole island.
Yes, yes.
With the help of sponsorships and government
Of
and
course.
stuff like that.
How do people contact you? They want to say, okay, we will partner with you. We want to be a part of this initiative.
Right, so we're on the social media platforms, Swimmers Aquatic Swim Club, at Swimmers Aquatic Swim Club. So Facebook, IG, TikTok. There's also Lowe's Consultancy and Services, which is also around helping the nation on that level to serve kids, to help them to learn to swim, adults, competitive swimming, the whole of it. So,
and it's Swimmers with a Z.
Yes, SWIMAZ, Aquatic Swim Club.
Yes.
All right.
Lemon, I heard that swimming is the best exercise because it exercises all the muscles.
It is.
Absolutely.
Is it a myth or truth?
No, it is truth. It also works on your breath management, so your lung capacity. It's water, so you always have to be taking a breath to breathe to the side, head back down, and you can do that in many ways. You can take 3 breaths or three pulls to 1 breath. You can go even further. You can go 5 to 1, 7 to 1, 9 to 1, and the more you do that, it builds on your lung capacity.
All right, that was Lemon Low, my daughter swim coach. Actually, his dad taught Izzy to first swim, and now Izzy, when she shows up. Sorry, coach. All right, he is Lemon Low, National Swim Coach and Aquatic Development Leader. We take a short break, more Sunrise. When we return, please stay with us.
A clean life and pure liberty, straight. I no need to worry.